are ready to roll. It's time to get into Stafford. We have to. Now, listen, Jim, you hosted what is that technically? Is it a watch party?
Yeah, it was a watch party.
A stream?
Yeah.
All right, so it was Rieger and Costa, Stafford Vision. Now, listen, everybody watched. I mean, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people. You're still invested, whether you're a Lion fan who wanted them to lose for the draft pick, you wanted them to lose because you hate Stafford, Rieger. You're a Lion fan who was fascinated to see if he could get off the schneid and win a playoff game. Stafford did. Now, it was interesting. 13 of 17. Didn't have to do a whole lot, but he did a lot early. Made a couple big third down throws. Had a beautiful throw to Odell on a fade route in the end zone. Made a beautiful throw down the sideline to Odell, hitting a guy in stride for about 35 yards. He made some really nice plays. I can't take anything away from the guy because the Rams were lining up and decapitating Arizona on the ground. And by the way, how Cam Akers is playing after tearing his Achilles 9 months ago, it's stunning. It really is.
Conspiracy theory. He never tore his Achilles.
Okay, then. The point is...
I mean, seriously, how else do you explain it?
I don't.
Your antler spray. That's how you can explain it.
Or he's not a human.
Yeah. Well, bottom line, I'm happy for the kid because that at a certain point in time, that was a career ender. But I want to know from people because you're already hearing it. Guys like Rieger, guys like David. Well, Stafford won a playoff game, but he didn't do that much. Here's all I'll tell you. There are plenty of playoff games that Tom Brady has won that he did next to nothing. Straight up. And nobody has it to merit. There are other guys. Jake Delhomme has won playoff games. He didn't have to do a whole lot. Okay? Eli Manning has won some playoff games. He didn't have to do much. If you start getting into the autopsy of quarterbacks and quality of playoff wins, you're having a different argument. I am not arguing that Matthew Stafford, after one playoff win, can now be treated like one of the all-time greats or a chips to the middle of the table postseason player. I'm not doing that. What I am saying is, much like when Michigan beats OSU, whether it was by 1 or 100, you no longer get to say certain things. I thought he was fine enough, and he happened to have a big-time running game behind him in that moment. And guess what? He didn't turn it over. The other quarterback on the field was a total grease fire, and Matthew Stafford got a convincing playoff win and did what he needed to do. I want to know where people are at with this, where you guys are at with it. How much credit does Stafford get? How much does it change the narrative? I said on Friday's show when we were out at the D, his entire legacy was on the line. If he lost that game, oh, man. But he didn't. And he outplayed the guy across from him. And he helped in a big way put his team in that commanding position. And for that, I think he deserves credit.
Oh, he absolutely does deserve credit. I think you're underselling him when you say he did enough. He was great. 3 touchdowns. No picks. Passer rating of 154.
I'm just careful when it's 13 of 17.
Mike, he had 3 dropped passes in the game. If he doesn't have those drops,
16 to 17.
And it's the most outstanding quarterback rating in the history of the playoffs. If his receivers catch the ball, it'd be the first perfect passer rating in the history of the NFL playoffs. I'm not saying I'm not giving it to him. I'm saying judge what he did, which is lead 3 touchdown drives, including 1 to start the second half to put the nail in the coffin. The guy went out there and performed. Period. I don't care what the Cardinals did or didn't do in that game. He did his job. He played winning football. He scored 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, and he deserved the playoff
And the no
win.
turnovers is the key.
Yeah, because no pick 6 in this one, no fourth quarter disaster, no fumble. He played a really crisp game.
Okay, all right. You threw out the word great to start your discussion.
Yeah.
You can't throw that word out.
I'm sorry.
He was not great last night.
David, there are people out there that would not be satisfied unless he came back down 14, threw 45 passes, and threw 5 touchdowns. I'm sorry that he didn't do that. I'm sorry. All he did was go out and execute drive after drive and build up a lead and win a playoff game with a crisp performance.
He did exactly what Jared Goff did in last year's playoff.
No. Bite your tongue.
No.
Bite your tongue.
Exactly what they did.
Hey, how about this? Look this up for me. Pull up Jared Goff's career touchdowns.
I don't need career. I need last
Stafford
playoff.
had 3 in one game.
Last playoff. He took them and he did exactly what Stafford did.
Give me Jared Goff's last playoff game stat line. Do it side by side, buddy.
I'll do
Go
it.
ahead, pull it up for me right now. Because I'll tell you, there's only 2 quarterbacks since 1982 that have had a better playoff passer rating than Matthew Stafford, and one of them wasn't Gerald Ulysses Goff. It was not him. I'll tell you that right now. It was Peyton Manning and Josh Allen 2 days beforehand. So come on now. Let's slow down, David.
That was truly unreal, by the way. 7 drives, 7 touchdowns.
It was the best game anybody has maybe ever played.
I've never seen, and it did it against top 5 defense.
Yeah, number 2, Bill Belichick.
Right, that's not what we're rapping about here.
No, but I think it was a really crisp performance.
And I can go with that. I agree with that. If I didn't articulate that, all right, 5-yarder on me. Here's the one thing you said that I think has absolute truth to it. If he had gone out and went 34 of 45 for 356, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and lost a 38-35 shootout, the same people who are bitching now would call him Statty Padford.
You can't have it both ways.
That's my point.
If you go out and handle the
playoff game, we got to let it go. As far like guys like Rieger, you got to let it go. He's got a playoff win.
Yeah, because if you were somebody who was hung up on that, you have earned the distinct honor of shutting the hell up. If you were somebody who had reduced this to whether or not he could win or lose a playoff game, which is a dumb thing to do, you have earned the distinct honor of shutting the hell up. If you want to judge how he plays quarterback, I'm more than willing to do that because I found last night's performance to be a sharp, crisp performance. And I would tell you it became very clear that it was the Lions. Very clear that it was the Lions. And I know you're not willing to go that far with me, Mike.
I can't for this reason.
Okay.
And just let me explain. The previous 4 weeks, including the week prior where he played a role in blowing a 17-0 lead with the division line, he had 8 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
That is Matthew Stafford December. It really is.
Sure.
Now, you're asking David to look up stuff.
Sure.
We can do the same way.
That's fine. I know
I'm
the
not
turnover
mad about
numbers.
it. I'm not ready to go there yet. I can say, hey, let's take it off the board. He's got a playoff win. And you got to give him credit. Played well. I can't do the it's the Lions thing yet.
What do you need, Mike?
I just need to see more. And what more is, I don't know.
Because let me give you this, because it couldn't be more jarring for me, the juxtaposition. He leaves Detroit, his very first season. He has the best passer rating of his career. They win the division. They give themselves a favorable matchup. He plays a crisp, clean football game where he excels, and he wins a playoff game. The very first year he leaves Detroit, all of a sudden, the guy's plenty good enough.
Yeah, but the Rams are where would you have put the Rams headed into the season? We all said they're going to be one of the favorites in the NFC. They're loaded.
Because they upgraded at quarterback.
That's part of it.
You wouldn't have said that if Jared Goff had run back one more year in Los Angeles.
Absolutely not. There's no doubt they upgraded. They went from having one of the worst QBs in football to a guy who is minimum above average, maximum good.
But juxtapose that with the Lions, what they were before Stafford, during when he didn't play, and post Stafford. They have a 27% win percentage since 93 in games Stafford doesn't play. They average 4.5 wins a season when Stafford is not their quarterback since 1993.
However, let's be fair.
Juxtapose. Who is it? It's
Find
the Lions.
All right, find any QB who's played a decade somewhere. Don't give me a bust of a draft pick. Find any QB who's played a decade somewhere, and then give me the record when that guy doesn't play. But it's not going to be pretty.
Mike, I went decades before he played. This is who the Lions were before Stafford and after Stafford.
So you're ready to
Mike,
just
this isn't your first year here. You know how bad and poorly they're run.
I understand fully. I also know they're in a grotesque rebuild. You're ready to say right here, right now, you're absolving it.
I'm not absolving.
You say it's the Lions.
It is the Lions. You want to take issue with a throw or a fumble over a 12-year career, I will be critical of those mistakes. But when you operate in a landfill for a dozen years and the first time you get a whiff of clean air, you are a division champion and you win a playoff game, it says something a lot about...
They didn't win the division. They needed Seattle to get that dub to do his dirty work. See,
they won 5 of their last 6 games.
I will admit.
They won the same number of games as the Chiefs. So let's talk about backing in.
The week prior against San Francisco, I still have a hard time moving past. Thought he played real well. You want me to really absolve him? Go on a road. Play. Don't be the reason they don't win this game this weekend. Go on a road. Play really well. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. But I guess you're asking what I need to really see. It's what I said I thought they were capable of if he was for real. Get to the NFC title game. Get there. Doesn't mean you win it. Doesn't mean you lose it. But get there.
Mike, you asked the question, does this change how you view Stafford at all? And I'll answer it for you. I don't think it changes how I view Stafford. I think teams win and teams lose. When he played for a losing Lions team, he got billed a loser. He's playing for a good team, a winning team. He's being viewed as a winner. It shouldn't change how you view him. Now, too many people have been hung up on the loss and the losing. So for those people who've made that their
thing,
then fine. You get to own that today. It's gone.